All right, Shalom, this is Gamali, all of Great Millstone, Atlanta. Want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakak. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, it's a quick lesson, and it's gonna be entitled "Get Your Oil While You Can." All right. Now, oil in the scriptures is metaphoric uh, for basically wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Um, um, and pursuant to Matthew 25, 25th chapter, all right, which I'll read in just a second, all right, but we have access to this oil now, all right, the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai, all right, we have access to this wisdom, so we gotta constantly you know get it, constantly eat, you know, just like the body eats, okay, or the body needs food, right? We need the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai because it quickens us, it revives us. The words, are food. All right, wisdom, like how they have the saying, food for thought. Okay, and your mind has to constantly be stimulated. Okay, spiritually, especially as a man of the Lord. See, these people, their minds are stimulated by filth and media, entertainment. You know, but us being the hopeful elect, okay, we have to fill our minds with nutrients, like the elder the elder in our camp just said earlier today. The YouTube videos is like a 24-hour buffet, you know, and it's all organic, it's all you know um, nutrient dense, it's all really good food for you, and so that's what this truth is like. That's what brothers doing these videos and us going into these scriptures is like. All right, all right. So this is Matthew 25. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at night there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all the virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Okay, so we want to be prepared. Okay, we want to be spiritually, ready when the Lord comes back. All right, the Lord, Yahweh Shai being the bridegroom. All right, and when He comes back, okay, it's gonna be too late to get this oil. Okay, it's gonna be too late to you know get get this understanding. All right, or to acquire the truth. You know, but that's people are gonna be in a panic and a frenzy because they're not gonna know, they're not gonna understand what's going on. They're not gonna know that this is biblical prophecy. They're not gonna know that this is judgment from Yahweh Shemel Shai. They're not gonna understand that. All right. This is get this. This is Ecclesiastes, Sirach 51, Ecclesiasticus 51 and 30, it says, work your work betimes, and in his time he will give you a reward. Right? Yeah, so work your work betimes. Okay, work your work early. That's what we ought to be doing, is working, working our work, and continuing and growing. And, Isaiah 55 and 6, it says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he may be near, while he is near. Okay? So that's implying that the Lord is not always going to be found. Right? It says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. That's for a tip. That's a period of time, and then it symbolizes that there will be a time where the Lord won't be found. There's gonna be a time where it's too late, right? And you don't want to be found where it's too late. Okay, like I spoke with the individual he didn't come down to camp. He used to listen a while back, um, and he used to come out to the camp, but then he stopped. Well, he never did. He never taught and did his own thing, and he stopped coming out. And there's so many individuals that that we've seen over the years that they just never they listened for a little while, and then that was it. They didn't put their hands to the plow or anything. But you know that's not that's a shame unto them. Okay, because they're gonna be the main ones. Like, damn, you know what? Damn, I should have did the work. I should have did this. I should have did that. But when that judgment comes and that protection comes, you won't have an excuse. You're not gonna have an excuse. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. John 9 and 4. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. All right. And what is the night? The night that's when judgment comes. That's when the Lord is gonna bring this place down. And so right now it's daytime. It's daytime. There's still time to work. There's still time to do the Lord's work. But the night cometh when you can't do no more work. It's expired. Just like when for brothers that have been in college, or you've been in school and you had a deadline. Sometimes you got to submit your homework or your project or whatever online. You have online assignment that you got to submit by midnight. After midnight, you can't work on that. You can't work on it no more. You got to submit it. Okay, you got to submit it before then. There's no more work you can do after that point, right? You can't. Once you submit it, you got to submit it how it is. So the Lord has a deadline. Okay, Lord has a deadline, and whenever we don't know that deadline, but whenever He sees fit, He's gonna shut everything down. Okay, He's gonna shut down, the whole the truth, access to the truth rather. All right, you can read Amos. I think it's 8 and 11, which we'll get famine of the word. So there will be a famine. There's going to be a famine of men of understanding. Amos 8 and 11 says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So yeah, there will be a famine of hearing the words of the words of the Lord. And the words of the Lord are spoken through his prophets. Okay. And the prophets today here are the men at Great Millstone, and the men that the doctrine, the men that, and also the men that follow the doctrine of Great Millstone are the true prophets, and the ones that, and the ones that are pushing and diligent and, doing their thing. Those are the men of the Lord. Those are the prophets today. All right. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. Yeah, so people are gonna be bugging out and be like, damn, how are we gonna, what do we do? We don't know what's going on. We don't, they're gonna understand that the answers have been in the Bible the whole time. All right, but they're not gonna comprehend it. They're not gonna know, why it's happening. You know, the why. They're not gonna understand the why. They're just gonna be catching hell. All right, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go in on that. Lord, when you edified, it all by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.